coverage.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Double Coverage. I'm your boy Dom with the great man Sauce. What is going on, buddy?
What is going on, Domma? We're back for another week. Podcast 28. There's a lot to talk about. A lot of stuff going on. Quite a few Lemones out there.
Oh, there's too many Lemones, man. Far out. I think viewers and listeners, you're gonna get another one of those podcasts where we give you good content, but there's gonna be a lot of
There could be some absolutely roastings. Absolute roastings
a
happening.
few people might cop it. You also so we got NBA in here today. EPL's back on the cards this week as we're going to cover how my boys are on top of the table after this morning. But we've got some more games for the rest of this week and next week. Obviously, wild card round in the NFL is done. Divisional round is this week coming, so we'll cover that. We've got some hobby talk where we're going to answer a question given by one of our followers, our good friends of the show. He DM'd us and we told him we'd actually talk about it in Hobby Talk. Saucy's got a few cards as well for Sauceys Smokey. But yeah, very excited. We're going to get right into it. We're going to start with NBA, where we always start with the standings, of course, first. And then, I don't know, Saucy and I might just let it rip on a couple of topics here in the NBA. But we'll get straight into it. The standings in the East. Our team, Boston, that we've ridden off 7-3 in their first, so we're looking good there. Sauce 7-4, Milwaukee in second, Philly is 7-4 in third, Indiana 6-4, Orlando fifth 6-5, Charlotte 6-5, Miami's in the 8 now 4-4, Atlanta 5-5, Knicks are outside now 5-6, Cleveland have plummeted to 5-6, Brooklyn 11th Sauce 5-6. We'll talk about them, don't you worry. Chicago 4-7, Washington 3-8, Toronto 2-8, and at the bottom, Detroit 2-8. In the West, Saucy's boys, the Lakers 8-3 on top, Clippers 7-4, Phoenix 7-4, Utah 6-4, Portland 6-4, Golden State, who everyone wrote off, it's just been the chef cooking. He was terrible the other night, but 6-4. They're in 6. Dallas 5-4. Oklahoma City 5-4.
My boy
SGA,
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander
has been killing it.
Absolutely showing that he can lead a franchise. And Hamidou Diallo, the bloke has absolutely turned it up this season, having a career year. So they need him to keep going in that fashion for them to have a chance to push for that bottom playoff spot. But it's good to see with such a young team.
They're killing it. And then we've got San Antonio 5-5, Denver 5-5 in 10th, Sacramento 5-6. Pelicans have dropped completely. They're 4-5. They're 12th now. Memphis 4-6, which is pretty good in 13th without their 2 stars. So as we said last week, once they get them back, looking to probably make the playoffs and get that 8th seed potentially. Houston 3-5 and Minnesota 3-7, who have as we said they'd underachieve, and they are at the moment. But Sauce, it's been the news that's been coming out of the NBA. I know we like to give the standings and some league leaders, but we've got a few things that have happened. First one is a team that we were very high on, Atlanta. Bogdanovic has fractured his kneecap. It's not looking good. He's not going to probably play for the rest of the season. They've got Gallo out, Rondo out, and Bogdanovic out, the 3 veterans that they picked up in the offseason. Trey's doing a pretty good job alongside all those young kids. But the 3 vets that were going to help them go to the next level, they're probably going to get 2 out of the 3 back in Gallo and Rondo. But Bogdanovic, massive loss.
Yeah, massive loss, Domma. We know what a absolute bucket Bogdanovic is when he gets going. And they needed that extra offense, especially, moving with that bench unit. It's going to be interesting what happens going forward now. You need those other guys. Obviously, Gallo, when he comes back, he's definitely an offensive threat. Rondo, you want him more leading that second unit and providing guidance when Trey is not on the floor. But it's going to be up to the other guys like the DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, Cam Reddish. They've got enough there to be able to still get wins. But can those guys now elevate their game and pick up the scoring where Bogdanovic has left and is not providing anymore? So look, watching intently, look, I don't think Atlanta's going to do anything in terms of significant this season, regardless of
No, no,
those guys that
definitely
they
not.
got. But as I said at the start of the season, it's more to see their team take the next level. Take the next step, sorry, and take it to the next level so that they can get some playoff experience and, that franchise can look to improve moving forward. Yeah, look,
In saying that though, the 7 teams below them, there's only one team. Like I'll read you the teams, you tell me which team you think's better than them, and there's only one team, and we'll probably be on the same page here. But these are the teams that are below them. They're in the 8th seed, so they probably should make the playoffs because they're in the East. But they've got the Knicks below them, the Cavs below them, the Bulls below them, the Wizards below them, the Raptors below them, the Pistons below them, and the team that I think's better than them, and you're probably going to agree, is the Nets are below them. That's the only team that can probably take that spot from them. So if they do get these vets back, they probably will make playoffs. But as you said, I'm on the same wavelength as you. I don't see them making a push or a threat in the playoffs if they haven't got these pieces. But they weren't going to win it. But they're not going to have a bigger impact in the off season, in the playoffs. Sorry, as if they were to have these 3 guys playing on a weekly basis. And the sad thing is, Bogdanovic actually started, and he got injured in the game that he started. He was dominating off the bench. He starts one game, and he bloody got injured, which we're spewing about. But
yeah, I'm
I
with
think
you
they'll
on
be
that
fine.
point. I'm with you on that point. I think the Nets is probably the only team.
Yeah.
There's one team notable that I've, looking at their record, I think they're 2-8. That's the Raptors. I mean, people
Yeah.
thought they would fall off a cliff last year without Kawhi. He left. They surprised everyone. And here they are this year. You thought, you know what, we're not going to ride the Raptors off. That's what it did last year. But maybe this was the season to ride them off because they look like they are definitely going to, at this rate, miss the playoffs. 2-8, terrible start to the season. So
It is very early, though, I
it is
understand.
early,
But
and there is still time to turn it around. That's for sure, Domma. But I don't know what's cooking in the water of Toronto, and how they've
yeah,
did so well without Kawhi last year,
I'm with
uh,
you.
and now this season it's a bit
This is Struggle
lackluster.
Town.
They're
Yeah, it
yeah,
is. It's Struggle Town.
they
But
are really struggling.
another story that came out, we're going to give credit to one great man, and that's Corey Homicide Williams. First of all, we're going to give him some credit because he's been on this guy for a long time. I think the second 2 guys that should get some credit, unfortunately, as we don't want to talk ourselves up, but we should probably get some credit for this guy because we said he was going to be good because he dominated down under here in Australia.
Watched a lot of games of him. Like, look,
Everyone,
personally,
everyone has
I'm
to stop
telling you,
saying this. Yeah, we're
I,
not soft on him, mate.
we live in Australia, Doma. I actually own NBL League Pass. Well, not me, my brother. He pays for the subscription, and I just leech off him. So I watched a whole heap of LaMelo Ball games. I could pretty much say I watched nearly every game he played in Australia. So when you watch a guy that much, and you see the eye test, and you've watched the NBL. Corey Homicide loves to say the line, "It ain't no cupcake league," and I'm going to tell you, it is no cupcake league. It ain't no NBA, but the physicality of play in the NBL is unmatched. It is probably, in my opinion, more physical than the NBA. Guys get away with some, dodgy screens, bumping off the ball, that in the NBA you see one little flop and they call a foul. In the NBL, that's, there's still flopping, but it's not as prevalent. So, guys get away with a lot, and, that builds toughness in a player. And I could see that from LaMelo from the get-go. He came here as an 18-year-old and absolutely took the league by storm until he got injured. He was probably going to... not that his team was, winning a lot, but, what he was able to do at that age, literally coming first season first sort of professional season, if you want to call his season in Lithuania professional. But that's
It's true,
it
but
was it was
and
interesting to watch.
the reason why we're giving credit to like Homicide and is because he has become the youngest player in NBA history to record a triple double. Understand triple double, it's a stat, blah blah blah. It's a whatever stat, but it's not a whatever stat when it comes to a rookie playing in a team like Charlotte and he's leading an offense off the bench and absolutely just dominating. If you didn't watch that game, he just put on an absolute clinic. And the funny thing is, if you watch the Charlotte versus Pelicans game, Lonzo's in his third year, LaMelo's in his first year. You put them side by side, and you practically. I literally watched it. I looked at that game as well and was like, "Oh, Lonzo's a bust." This is his brother who's played bloody. How many games have they played here, Charlotte? They played 11 games, and the guy's already better than him, and he's a rookie. Like, that's unbelievable. He's actually dominated. He's used to physicality. That's what we said was going to be his most advantageous point of his game. Everyone said, oh, he's soft. But you're going to look soft when you're playing in a hard league. That's what it looks like. And as we said, the eye test, he played in one of the toughest leagues, and a lot less is called in terms of fouls when you play in Australia. But that's fair enough. It hasn't got its respect just yet. Just keep listening to Corey Homicide. If you haven't listened to him, he will definitely tell you that it's no push-around league, the NBL. But LaMelo, he's dominated. Like Saul said, very unlucky not to play all the games because he got injured. And obviously they wanted to put him on ice just in case it affected his draft value. I can completely understand why they did it. But he looks like he is going to be the best player in the draft very, very early. So keep your eyes on him. If you were collecting him in the hobby at the beginning, congratulations to you because you've made a very good move. But time will tell.
Yeah, just on that front, Dom, and just be also be mindful to the collectors out there. If you're looking at getting LaMelo cards at the moment, there's only his Prism draft pick card, which is just in a non NBA uniform, and the other guys who went to college, it's in their college uniform. What's found in the market over the history of this product is once the regular products drop, the hoops, and the Revolution, and then you move into Optic and Select and Prism and the ones that are in the NBA uniform. These Prism draft pick cards become a lot less desirable because people want the ones where they're in their NBA jersey. So be mindful that you aren't buying some of that hype now in those Prism draft picks, because if you are buying these cards right now, they're up quite high. And in my opinion, if you did want to pick up some of these draft pick cards, I'd probably definitely wait till later in the season when people don't really want them because they've got the NBA jersey, and you could probably pick them up really cheap. So I'm not saying that if you want to get these Prism draft pick cards, just don't buy them now, because you're going to be paying top dollar. So a bit of advice: if you do want them, get them later in the season. Me personally, I'm just waiting for the hoops. I got myself a pre-order of Hoops Hobby from our friends down at Cherry Collectibles at not a bad price. So I'll definitely.
Actually, speaking of our good friends at Cherry, today is the 13th, which I just realised because you just reminded me. But I'm actually in a break with Cherry tonight. So
there we go. There we go. Gonna have to keep us posted. See if you actually hear anything.
You know what? Just because we're talking about this, I hope I get Charlotte and I get all the LaMelo Ball cards. It'd be pretty funny.
Oh, that'd be great.
But just a few other things to note. We won't get into them too much because there's a couple of things we actually do want to talk about that are actually pretty big stories in the NBA. But Lakers bench has been very good. They've stepped up in a few games. THT's actually been playing very, very well in the last few games.
Credit where credit's due, Domma. I watched every Lakers game, and although I said sell your THT cards, and I probably now you might be looking at holding on to him because you don't know what he could actually become. He is a very interesting prospect, but I still sold mine.
Time will tell with him as well. But the other one, Bill, dropped 60 in a game. We spoke about Curry 62 last week. He followed that up with another 30-plus point game. He's been killing it. Levine has also been dominating in Chicago.
Domma, I'll tell you one man who has been dominating, Gordon Hayward.
Oh yeah,
Gordon
he's killing it,
Hayward
man.
he's going, yeah, Boston, you want to trade me? I'm still a number one option. I'm still a number one option.
He's killing it. He's
Yeah?
playing
Like,
very,
he's
very
gone
well.
to Charlotte and he's looking like what he did down at the Jazz in those days where he
Yeah.
just showed he was the number one man. And he can still be the number one man. So, deservedly so. The man deserves his money. Everyone's laughing that they took that contract. Well, who's laughing now? They're on a 4-game winning streak. And, he's showing the young guys how you got to do it in the NBA. Show up night in, night out.
That's exactly right. Before we get into these, I'm just going to go through the league leaders very quickly because the last two stories are pretty big and might take up a bit of time. But the points leaders, Bill, first 34.9, KD 29.3, Curry 28.6, McCollum 28.1, Levine's up to 27.7, rebounds, Drummond 15, Gobert 13.7, Capella 13.1, Sabonis, Sauceys boy 12.6, and Karl Anthony Towns on 12, and assists, Westbrook 11.5. He hasn't played a few games, though. Harden, 11. Jokic, 10.4. Trae Young, 8.6. And then Paul, 8.5. But the two stories we really want to get into, they practically lead into each other. But the first one is we can't not talk about Kyrie Irving. There was reports initially that it was personal matters and that everyone was like, oh, we should give Kyrie time, and it's like, so those are the rumors, and the rumors slowly evolved to we're getting stories by Shams and by Woj, to the point now that there's video evidence that Kyrie Irving was at a birthday party maskless. That's why there's an investigation into that. He hasn't been seen for 4 games. He's been off the grid. He hasn't been in contact with his coach, as per sources. I don't like it because obviously he said it's his team, and you'd be the same because it's him and KD's team, this and that. But we did say we told you so. It's just a matter of time before Kyrie acts like a Lamont and does something silly like this. But the other thing as well is it sets a very, very, very dangerous and toxic precedent in a team that you're the superstar, and not all the information is completely out there yet. We're just reporting on what we know. But you just need to put this hat on as well. A toxic precedent, which can be related kind of to likened to Paul George and Kawhi Leonard at the Clippers. But for him to go off the grid for 4 days and then for the franchise, when he comes back, to make it acceptable could become very, very dangerous in the locker room with the rest of the team. You do not, as a player, you actually understand that Kyrie and KD are going to get favorability because they are the superstars and it is their franchise. But to let players get off the hook for not being in contact with their team and their organization and their head coach, they don't know where he is. It's all well and good that KD's talking to him. Whoop-de-doo. It's not a good look. Really, it isn't. I love Kyrie, man. I want him on the court. When he plays, he's a baller. He's so good. But he's just a head case.
Yeah,
It's starting to do
didn't
my
we
head
say
in.
this would be the case at the start of the
Mate,
season?
it
You know
only
that
took-
the Brooklyn Nets could probably most likely get undone by Kyrie and KD themselves because they're such. You got KD with his 55 burner accounts on Twitter. He has to respond back to every egg account that bags him on Twitter, right? And then you've got Kyrie who literally. He just does what he wants. He went to Boston, imploded that team. He's now going to go to Brooklyn, probably implode this team. It's just a bunch. It just rolls on and rolls on. It's like, it's what we've seen before. And we want him to change, or we want change. But do we really believe that it's going to happen? No, we sit here and doubt him because it's happened time and time again. And then yet again, he just proves us right again.
Now, I just want to clear something in the context of it too, because people might come out when the story further develops and say, "Oh yeah, but it was personal issues and you two are being pricks." I'm just putting it out there right now. If it's personal issues, yeah, it's sad, yeah, and we completely understand that. But what we're trying to say is you've gone off the grid. Now, you think about it yourselves, for your listeners and viewers out there. If something happened, regardless of what it is, personal, whatever, and you're at your workplace and you said, I'm going to go off the grid, not for 4 games, that's not 4 days. He's been off the grid for whatever the 4 games is. It could be 2 weeks. He's off the grid. You don't tell any employees where you are. You don't tell your boss, nothing. And then you walk back into your workplace with all your work colleagues, and you're just a standard employee, and your boss says, oh, no, that's fine. Just go about your day. You're fine. Just walk back straight back in. You just go back and do your job. That's what we're trying to say. Just imagine that. Just imagine the employees. You'd be the most hated person in your company. If you just walk straight back in after that, after letting your whole team down. It only took 7 games, Sauce.
It only took 7 games. That's what I love. That's what I love, Domma. That's what I love.
The last 4, so they played 7 games and he's disappeared.
He's doing a lemon pepper loo, mate. He's down at the strip club having some chicken wings.
Speaking about lemon pepper loo, that's a perfect bloody transition into the next topic, because the NBA, Adam Silver, our good man, and some of the execs down there, and some of the team owners are considering a potential 7 to 14 day hiatus of the season to get this COVID issue in order. Now, listen, we're going to call you out right now. NBA stars that think you are lemon pepper Lou and you can go do whatever you want, you got to just cut your bullshit. You really do. You're in the most fortunate position that you have a job and you're out there doing what you love, and you're abusing your status and your egos to go out to parties. I don't want to hear people saying, oh, but family members might have got it and they're contracting it. Let's stop being ridiculous. They're out there partying and doing whatever the hell they want to do. That's how they're getting it. Like, let's be realistic. Look at the NFL. There's 72 players on a roster, each team. There's 30 teams. How many games did they postpone? Like, did they have to cancel the season for 7 to 14 days to get it under check? I know people are saying, yeah, but they got more players on their roster. They can fill those spots and this and that. Yeah, but NBA players, like, it's not that hard. Do you want me to explain to you how it should be done? You go to training, you come home, you wake up, you go to training, you come home, you wake up, you get on your flight, you go to Boston, you play your game, you go back home to your hotel room, you wake up, you get back on that private jet. It's not like you're flying bloody economy and the rest of bloody society's on the plane with it. You're on a private jet. And I don't want viewers and listeners or anyone that listens to this to say, oh, you're being harsh. Being harsh? They're going home to their bloody multi-million-dollar mansion. They got it easy. They've got it easy.
The other ones that have it tough are the rooks that, are still on $2 million a year or 3,
Oh, come on,
or the vet minimum on $1.3 million a year.
Come on, man.
Or the vet minimum.
LaMelo can just turn around to Gordon Hayward and say, listen, because we do play in the same team, let's have a social bubble, and you're on bloody $35.5 million a season. I'll just come bunk at your house for a month. There's no difference. But what I'm saying is they just got to quit this bullshit of just doing whatever they want and thinking they can get away with it. The NBA has to come down harsh. And not for anything, you putting a 7 to 14 day hiatus on the season is literally falling into the crap of the players, just succumbing to their shit that they're causing. They're the problem.
But Dommo, can I ask, how come they didn't postpone the Philly game the other night when they had only six active players because of COVID and whatever related issues, and they made them play with 6 players, but yet because Luka Doncic and the Mavs don't have 8 players, the minimum 8 players, they they get their game postponed.
Yeah, they've been postponing other games. Like there's been a Boston game postponed. I think a Miami game got postponed because of COVID and all this stuff. But then Philly have to suit up and play. And the quote came out that like Dwight Howard was saying, I might have to play point guard tonight because we've got no players.
Hey, one player did come out of that, Domma, and that was Tyrese Maxey. And we've seen what an absolute bucket the guy can be. 39 points, putting up 39 as a rookie. This is very similar to what I've seen with, like a Kobe White-like game early in the season last year. And that's where I I seen it and I watched the game. And I just, I had a look at his offensive talent, and he's got a bit there. And at his size, it's an interesting prospect. I mean, he's small, but if you've got those offensive moves and that mid range game, which it shows that he does. He could be one to watch league going forward and potentially picking
Definitely.
up some of his cards. I mean, I think a lot of people will be interested in him, but for the right price and depending on where the market sits on him, he could be a buy. Could definitely be a buy. But
Definitely.
Domma,
The seasons, yeah, they're being stupid. They just got to sort this stuff out. Maxi was a good revelation, mind you, as you said. But it's been a while, on this podcast, as you know, long-time listeners, you would know, viewers as well. We always used to give something, a weekly award, to someone that did something that was just ridiculous. And now, you know what, Sauce? The last month, everyone's been on their best behavior. No one's done anything ridiculous, and we haven't had to give it to them. Well, you haven't had to give it to them. But I think it's time you bring it back. But there's two things. Kyrie Irving's going to get it, and the whole of the NBA is going to get it. Because at the moment, they're playing ridiculous. So, Sauce, it's time.
and on that note, because yous are both being lemons, absolute lemons.
Terrible.
The NBA, Kyrie Irving, thinking he's lemon pepper Lou, going out to clubs and strippers and not wearing a mask and the whole
Come
jazz,
on,
mate.
man.
The whole jazz. And the NBA themselves, absolute pandering to these players who just can't follow simple rules to get the season done.
Mate,
Ridiculous.
Adam Silver,
Absolutely ridiculous. You,
before we
you,
move
you
on,
do know if this keeps going
yeah,
down this road, the NBA is going to make. They're going to make. They could potentially go into 3-week bubbles. 3-week batches where you usually go into a bubble, play all these games against all the other teams that are in that bubble, and then you go out for a certain amount, you have a little bit of time off, and then you come back into another bubble just to get the season done. Like, you can't follow these simple rules. They're gonna do something to get the season done because it's a
exactly.
multi-billion-dollar business. Sorry,
Just yeah,
and the
Adam
owners want
Silver,
the season to happen.
Adam Silver, just pick up the phone. I know you got him in your contacts. Click on R if it's first name, G if it's surname, and go to Roger Goodell. Give him a call, and he'll give you the answers to everything, mate. There's one thing that the NBA is great and it's very entertaining, but the best league in America is the NFL, and they do it the best. They got all the answers. Just pick up the phone and give him a call, mate. He'll get you out of your shithole at the moment. So, wish them all the best, but they're being lemons, and rightly so. They deserve what they got. But coming up next, Sauce, EPL back on the cards. Some interesting things.
You'll be
But
happy.
I'm very happy. But as you know, the last couple of weeks, I brought some GOAT talk. I may have got some more GOAT talk stats for the end of the segment too, so stay tuned.
Here we go. Toot.
Oh, we're back. EPL Sauce. Oh, we're going to get straight into it. Week 18, there's been 3 results so far. Sheffield United beat Newcastle, which is a bit of a shock. Wolves lost to Everton 2-1. And Manchester United are now on top of the table. I'll get back to Manchester. I am very happy, but I might surprise a few people out there when I get to where I'm going with my whole Manchester United take this morning. But the rest of the week will pan out as City versus Brighton, Villa versus Spurs, Arsenal versus Palace, West Ham versus West Brom, and then we have week 19 leading into our next podcast, and we'll cover the rest of that round when we get to next Wednesday. But the games that will be played before we go on to air next week are Wolves versus West Brom, Leeds versus Brighton, West Ham versus Burnley, Fulham v Chelsea, Leicester v Southampton, Villa versus Everton, Sheffield versus Spurs, Liverpool versus United, City v Palace, Arsenal v Newcastle, and Leicester v Chelsea. So great games there. But Sauce, as I did say, we are on top of the table. Now, if you listen to us here on Double Coverage very early on, you know, the great man. Well, I'm not the great man. I look like a fucking idiot. You probably would have given me the Le Mans now, like if we turn around and we're being realistic. But I was very harsh on one man called Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I said 2 weeks ago, I'm not retracting that. I did my old Conor McGregor. I'm going to apologise for absolutely nothing. And I'm not going to because I still don't think he is amazing. I just think the team is gelling now and they're playing really, really well. He is a part to playing that. I just don't think he's this world-class manager that everyone's saying he is. He's a bit overrated. But I'm going to literally put out my hand and I'm going to have to apologise to one man source. I can't believe I'm doing it, but I'm going to have to.
He's eating his words here. He's
No,
eating
I'm
his
not.
words.
You know, as I've said on this show, and you said it too, when we're wrong, we'll gladly take onus of it, and we will apologise. Now, if he's willing to come on the show, it'd be great. I'd apologise straight to his face as well. Honestly, I'm not even joking here. As you know, I'm very sarcastic, but I'm not actually joking. If you want to come on, Paul Pogba, I'm talking to you. It would be great for the show, but it'd be also great for me to get this off my chest and apologise to your face. But Paul Pogba, I apologise. Sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, from Dom Scarpino on double coverage, I just want to apologise to you. I'm very, very sorry. You've shut me up, and that's all I asked for. Just shut me up. Silence me. I was very critical on you, but I did have some positives on you in terms of coming off the bench and stuff. But I'm actually going to admit, I think COVID, as you did say, did play a part. I was a bit harsh on that take, and I didn't give you credit where credit was due. But I apologise. Keep doing what you're doing, and don't leave. Please don't leave. He's dominating. The guy is absolutely put on a
Man of
masterclass,
the
mate.
match today, Domma. Man of the match.
Yeah.
Scored the goal.
He's just absolutely
And
dominated.
he has, since you've called him out, he heard you. And he goes, you know what? I'm going to shut that Dom bloke up from double coverage and just put on an absolute clinic so that when I leave on a free transfer, he can get pissed off even more. So that's what he's doing, Domo. He's going to see out the season because there's a chance he can win the Premier League. Imagine he wins the Premier League with United and then just leaves on a free transfer. There's nothing more than what I would love than to see that. Look, I mean, you'd be happy because you won the league.
But I'll
But
be happy because you know why? I don't care. You can leave on a free transfer if you want, Paul. Honestly, you can leave because in the end of the day, if you help us win the title, then everyone's going to want to come play for United again. So I don't really care. And the rumour circulating this morning by Goal.com is that Sergio Ramos is considering coming to United on a free transfer. So I'm not going to say no to that, am I? So first it's Sergio
that's
Ramos.
an upgrade from Harry
Hey,
Maguire, let me tell you that.
Sauce. It's all falling into place, my boy. As we said, Messi, he'll go to City next year. Free
Sergio?
transfer, first free transfer, Sergio, and then his best buddy. You know who he plays for? Yeah, he's coming back. He's coming
Ronaldo,
home.
the
He's
goat.
coming home. He's coming home. The
Oh,
goat.
that would be elite. I can't wait to see it. I want to see Messi versus
I'll tell you
Ronaldo in
what,
the
if
Premier
Ronaldo,
League.
if Ronaldo comes back to United, I will come onto this podcast. I'll probably cry. I'll actually
Oh.
have tears running down my face. You'd probably get enough memes. I'll become a Jordan meme. That's how much I'd be crying. But United's on the top of the table. Paul, I extend the olive branch. Come on the show. If you want to just give me hell, I don't really care. I'll sit here and cop it. But it'd be great to actually interview you anyway. So I'll get in contact with you. But well done, United. Great stuff. Top of the table. And we'll see where this goes. It's obviously coming down to this big game with Liverpool this week coming. If we can win that, take that 2-game lead over the Reds, it'll be fantastic for us and hopefully set up the second half of our season to hopefully win it. So, yeah, that's the EPL we've got. But as I said, I've come with 2 of the great stats here. As you know, the last 3 weeks, including this week, you're probably sick of me. Because even Sauce last week was just like, what the hell is happening to you? But I'm coming with all these Ronaldo stats, and people don't like it because, it's a bit of GOAT talk, and everyone says Messi's, but nah, we're talking about the GOAT here. Anyway, goal scoring alert, update. Listen to these, Sauce. You're going to love this. Joint highest scorer of all time with 759 goals, Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, this is an interesting stat, which people are going to be actually amazed by. I've actually told a few people throughout the week, and they were actually shocked by this. I don't know if people have seen it out there, Sauce, if you've seen it yourself, but Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, not CR9, CR9, R9, sorry. So Cristiano Ronaldo and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So two of my favorite players ever
I did see this.
are the only two players in the history of football, the history, in its whole entire existence, to score in every minute of a football game. Minute 1 to 90. That is an unbelievable stat. That is ridiculous. I heard that and I thought,
And he couldn't be paired with a more absolute iconic man than I am Zlatan himself.
the great
Ibrahimovic.
Man. Get him on here as well.
I'm with you. Zlatan Ibrahimovic is one of my favourite players of all time to watch. He's just so entertaining. He's scored so many great goals over the years. And the best part about Zlatan, and I love it when he just says, doesn't matter where I go, I win. And it's just stood true. Like, wherever he's gone, he's been able to win some sort of trophy.
The man is the definition of talk the talk and walk the walk. He talks that much smack, but he can back it up, so you can't fault him.
It's true.
You can't get on his back, mate. He talks that much shit, he just backs it up. But those were two interesting stats. I thought I'd share them with you. You're probably sick of this whole Ronaldo talk by me, but, when he becomes the highest goal scorer in the history of football next week, I'm going to probably bring a stat there again and pump him up. So you probably have to listen to me one more week, and then I'll shut up on him till he comes back to United, and I'll have to talk about him every single week. And we might lose some listeners and viewers, Sauce, when I do that. But that's all we have for soccer. Coming up next, we've got the NFL. We're going to go through the wild card round, our tips, if we won or lost, and we'll give it a bit of a review. So stay tuned for that. All right, we're back. Sauce, the NFL wildcard round. It was awesome. We had some great games in there. We'll run through them, and we'll have a bit of a chat on each of them. Colts defeated by Bills 27-24. I picked the Bills. Sauce went with his boys, the Colts. Your thoughts on this game? Josh Allen played very well. Stephon Diggs is absolutely dominating as well this season. So Bills are looking very good.
It was, Look, Domma, I only went with the Colts because they were my team, and I was just like, I was sticking by my boys. But Bills, they just had enough in the end. Phillip Rivers just missed some plays at crucial times, and I never truly thought that we were going to win. And to only lose by 3 points, that probably hurts more than losing more than a TD or, getting blown out, because we were so close. But, just not being able to convert some of the third downs when we got those opportunities, getting to a third down on 17 occasions, and then only converting 9 of them. We just lacked being able to move the ball, get past those third down opportunities, and then red zone opportunities. Being in the red zone on 5 different occasions, and then only converting on 2 of those. We had our opportunities, and that's what it comes down to. It's not like I sit here and I go, we were severely outplayed by Buffalo. We weren't severely outplayed. We matched them. And we had our chances to win the game. It's just we couldn't convert. And I'll be interested to see the direction that the franchise takes moving forward. But congratulations to the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. Coming up big. Played a very good game. QBR of 85. Took 2 sacks, but. That's what I'm saying. Our defense was good. We got to the quarterback. We put pressure. But
your defense is very good anyway, though. It is very good. But
that's right.
Unlucky, mate.
So it was just unlucky. But yeah, I mean, you gotta be able to put the clamps on when at the right times, and you gotta be able to convert at the right times, and we just didn't do that.
Yeah. The next up, we had Rams versus Seahawks. We both had this one wrong. We both had the Seahawks in this. Rams beat them 30-20, and Russell Wilson was stifled for 2 hours. The Rams defense, Aaron Donald,
Outcoached,
were just all
severely
yeah,
outcoached,
yeah,
severely
dominated.
outcoached. Pete Carroll,
Sean
outcoached.
McVay
You
destroyed
know,
him.
just in every facet in that game, just absolutely outcoached him. That offensive line, I tell you what, and I've been saying it, Domma, they might want to They might want to get some improvement on that offensive line because if they don't, uh, I'm not sure how much. I'm not sure how much longer Russell Wilson is contracted for. I'm not exactly sure, but it could be to the point where he doesn't see improvements. He'll be out of that franchise and onto another one
He
where
just
they
gets
they are
mauled.
gonna look after him because
The guy gets mauled.
at this rate, like he's lucky enough that he hasn't got severe injuries. And that's why I call him the LeBron James of the NFL because he just doesn't matter what, he always turns up to work. But he's going to get injured because they sacked him 5 times, and it's not the first time this season that he's been sacked on 5 different occasions. And that offensive line has been putrid, and you give him absolutely no chance. Especially once you see a few sacks coming, it's what those sacks then do going forward. It's the implied pressure. You think that they're going to get to you because they've gotten to you already earlier in the game, but they're not really, which then forces you into doing mistakes that you're not, you know, uh, used to doing because the fact that you think that pressure's coming and you're expecting the hit. So you overthrow, underthrow. It's thinking the pressure's coming and throwing it at the wrong occasion. So yeah, it's just tough one.
It
Look,
is. It
Russell Wilson
definitely
didn't
is.
help himself in terms
No.
of some of the things he did through a pick. And QBR 17.6 was absolutely horrendous. That's pretty much. I mean, who had one of the worst QBRs that we've called out this season? There was a couple of
Cam Newton
there's a
had a
couple of
freaking
QBRs
horrendous
in the
one, and our boy
very low
Kirk
tens,
Cousins.
very low tens. Kirk Cousins had a few. He was terrible, but outcoached. Jared Goff, on the other hand, he wasn't that good. He
No,
didn't have the
no.
best of games, but what they did do, Dommer, is they moved the ball along the ground really well. 164 yards on the carry, averaging
Yeah.
3.8 yards a carry, which means that you're getting the chains moving, making those third downs easier for yourself by being able to move the ball along the ground. Your boy Cooper Cup, 9 targets, averaging 19.5
Great
yards.
player.
So, yeah, DK Metcalf absolutely stifled. Absolutely
Yeah, but
stifled.
he had Jalen Ramsey on him, so
He did get
that
two
is
touchdowns, though.
yeah, I know. But yeah, they're out, they're gone. Another, unfortunately, a very I don't know lackluster season for Seattle, who came out of the gates flying. And we thought Russell Wilson was looking to be MVP, but that is not going to be the case. But next up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeating Washington. This was a given. We're not going to stay on this much, but Brady's looking great. The team was just killing it. Fournette looked amazing in this game as well. So they got the job done there. Then Ravens had their revenge on the Titans. We both went with the Ravens, and we also both went with the Buccaneers in that one. But the Ravens had their revenge on the Titans and beat them 20-13. Great win for them. They just had to get that hoodoo game out of the way. Obviously, the Titans knocked them out last year,
Lamar
and a bit of
Jackson
an
absolutely
upset.
put on an absolute show.
Yeah,
QBR 84.6. Didn't throw for a TD, but he ran for a TD. He actually led the team in rushing yards with 136. So
unbelievable. He's absolutely killing
he's
it.
a jet. He's an absolute jet. And
Uh,
what
the next,
note what to note in that game, I will say, Baltimore Ravens, they contain the absolute beast that is Derrick Henry and kept him to a 40-yard rushing game, which is
Wow.
pretty much where I believe that they got the upper hand. Didn't allow Tennessee to move the ball along the ground, only getting 51 total yards rushing, forced Ryan Tannehill to
To
throw the
throw it.
ball.
Yeah.
We've seen Ryan Tannehill, albeit he's a decent quarterback, but
He
force
is.
him to throw the ball, and that's the way you can beat him. So they didn't allow him to move the chains easily with the rushing game, and paid off.
It did pay off. Next up, we had your Super Bowl pick, the Saints. We both tipped them in this one. They're still alive. We've got a massive game this week. I was wrong on the socials when I put something out, but we'll clarify that when we get to it. But they got the job done, 21-9 against the Bears. That was just a
Still
formality
alive, still
in
alive.
our opinion. But the last
Oh,
game,
here we go, Domma.
so
Talk
I'm
about
not gonna.
being on the money. Talk about
No,
being on the money.
I'm not going to talk myself up here, but I may or may not have said that the Browns were just going to slap their shit
You
out
said by
of the
three
Steelers.
TDs, but you'll take
Yeah,
you'll
it
take
was
it.
in,
What,
yeah
15
it was.
points?
I'll
It's
be
still a
honest with you.
slapping in the NFL.
No, it was 10 in the end. It was 10 in the end, but I'm still gonna say it was three TDs because they got it just a junk time, or was it 15?
It's
Anyway, they got a
48
junk
to 37.
11 points.
11 points. There we go.
Yeah,
That's
so
great. Great
it's just
maths.
I just think that yeah, they got a couple junk time points there at the end, the Steelers, but they were absolutely dominated.
Outplayed.
Uh,
Outplayed from start to
I saw a
finish.
few clips. I saw a few clips. I think you were more onto this than what I was because you were messaging me non-stop when this game was on. And one of the things that you did say to me was, "What sauce about your boy Big Ben?"
Oh, it's time for him to go. It's time for him to move on from the franchise. And from what I've seen after the game, him sort of tearing up and crying, and on the sidelines, I think it might have been the realization that that is his last game as a Pittsburgh Steeler, and probably of his career, because I think he'll most likely retire. I don't think he'll play for another franchise.
One of
Um,
the greats to play
One of the
though.
greats to play. And that was always the case in today's NFL, where you need a bit of mobility. He just doesn't have any, and he's got found out. 4 picks. He threw 4 picks, which is just not good enough, especially at the highest level. And I think it's time for that franchise to move on from Big Ben. He got him that Super Bowl win, but since then he's sort of been, he's either been injured or he just hasn't been able to take the next level. So,
Yeah,
um, yeah, it's sad day probably for Steelers fans in the sense that Ben Roethlisberger is going to retire, but I think positive moving forward because you got one of the best coaches on the sideline there in Tomlin to lead you into the future. So yeah, I can't see the franchise accepting another year of Big Ben, to be honest.
yeah.
Um,
But all and well done to Baker Mayfield and the Browns. They did get a bit of luck, but you need luck sometimes to win games. Pittsburgh were just all over the shop all afternoon. They tried to tighten it up at the end, but it was a bit too late. But that leads into the divisional round playoffs here. Rams v Packers. Unfortunately, I said it was going to be Tom versus Aaron Rodgers, but I stuffed that up. It's actually the other way around. I stuffed up that one. I thought it was going to be Tampa Bay versus Green Bay, and I thought it was going to be Ravens Chiefs, but it was on the opposite side of the draw. So I apologize for any of that confusion. But Rams versus Packers, which should be a great game. We'll get our tips. Saucy, who have you got here? I'm going Green Bay myself personally.
what is it? Rams versus Packers.
Yeah, at Lambeau.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Packers. They've had the week off.
Yeah,
The
they've had the
bookies have
week
got them
off.
at $1.30 favourites. Jeez.
Yeah.
They're absolutely giving no chance to Sean McVay. Can he have another coaching performance and um, well, let's see. I think
We'll
it'll be
see.
closer than what the bookies odds have got it at here.
I reckon it will be too. Next up, we got Ravens versus Bills. Wow.
You know what? I'm gonna go with the Bills. Going with Buffalo.
Buffalo Bills. I'm going with the Baltimore
Josh
Ravens.
Allen, mate. Let's see if he can get the job done.
He is my boy as well, Josh Allen. I'm
So
going against him.
you're going against
Against
him, and I'm just gonna. Like, I want him to achieve because there's
Yeah,
also
so do I.
detractors
I
in
do
him
too.
in his card market. People don't want to. I mean, you got to realize he's only in his third season. Have a look at some of the success he's had. There's quarterbacks that go. Have a look at quarterbacks that go through their whole career in the league 7-8 years and don't have some of this success. So what
True.
he's done already at this age and this time of his career, you got to respect it.
Next up, we got Cleveland Browns versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
Look, well done, great season by the Browns, but this is where it ends, buddy. This is where it ends,
Yeah, that's what
Cleveland.
he's saying.
This is where it ends when the Kansas, my homeboy Chiefs, just rock up to town. They won't. I don't think they'll get slapped, but it could be probably a 7 point win. 7 points. TD. We'll take it.
7 points. I don't know where I'm going with this. Uh,
Don't tell me you're gonna keep riding the Browns. Come on! They've had their
I'm
first
going the
playoff win
Browns.
since 1995, and you're thinking
I'm
they're
going
gonna
the
beat
Browns.
Kansas.
Let's go. We're going the Brown sauce. He's just.
You could be getting the absolute lemon of the week next week when
It's
we
okay.
rock up here and they've gotten done by freaking 3 TDs.
I'm going Baker, touchdown maker. 3 TDs he's going to throw in this one. I'm even giving you the TD line for the great man,
Oh
Baker
wow!
Mayfield. 3 TDs. I'm going to write that down. 3 TDs. Baker Mayfield. Very nice. And the final game, we got the GOAT, Tom Brady, against Drew Brees in potentially the last time they square off against each other. We don't know what Drew Brees' future is going to look like after this year, if he's going to play. We don't know what's happening. Well, Tom's going to be around, but we don't know what's happening with Drew Brees. Hopefully, it's not the last time, but it potentially could be. This is going to be a cracker of a game. I'm going with Bucks for one reason. Not to go against you because you went New Orleans to win the Super Bowl. Honestly, I'm going Bucks for the fact of I want to see Brady versus Rodgers to get into the Super Bowl. That's the only reason why I'm going for it. I just think we've never seen anything like it before, and that's what I want. But on the flip side, we could get Brady versus Breeze. So,
Well, you know who
which
I'm
is
going
just
with.
as
I'm
good.
going with the Saints because I picked them to win it all, and they're still in it. So I'm gonna stick with him. I'm gonna stick fat, Domma. I'm not gonna change. I'm Saints all the way.
Yeah, if it was up to me, I would have
And
liked
the
to pick
Saints
San
are the favourites
Francisco.
on the bookies odds, and they have beat him twice, and
Yeah,
this season. So, yeah, and no
it would
team,
have been.
no
Yeah, it
team
would.
in the history has ever beat Tom Brady 3 times in the same season. So this could be a
Well,
history for Drew Brees himself.
yeah, very true. But if it was up to me, I would have picked San Francisco this week in one of those games. But my poor freaking form at the start of the season cost me. But just to run through those tips: Packers for both of us against the Rams. I've gone the Ravens against the Bills. Sauce has gone the Bills. I've gone the Cleveland Browns. Sauce has gone Kansas City, and I've gone Tampa Bay, and Sauce has gone New Orleans in the final matchup there. So we look forward to those. They're going to be cracking games, and we're going to cut 8 down to 4 this time next week when we're talking about it. So we look forward to that discussion next week. All right, Sauce. Coming up next, Hobby Talk. We're going to be answering a question. So
I
very
like it.
nice.
I like it.
Very nice. So stay tuned. All right, we're back. Hobby Talk. As you know, we're winding up the show when we get to Hobby Talk, but we've got a few things to discuss. Before we do get into a question that was asked to us by one of our good friends of the show, which we'll let you know who that is in a sec. There's a couple things. We got, as Source mentioned at the top of the show when we're talking NBA, hoops is dropping. The cards look pretty good.
Yeah. They look, they
We're
look,
excited for
they
it.
look good. I like the hoops cards. People like to shit on them, but I like to just say, NBA Hoops is the one card, the one logo that still has the same logo from back in the 90s. So, you have a look at a 90s NBA Hoops card and it's got the same logo on it as a 2020 Panini Hoops card. Even though, back then Hoops was whatever brand it may have been. Could have been Skybox, I think, at some point. So, the card design of the 2021, it looks nice. I'll be excited to see some of the inserts in there. They are rehashing some of the inserts and redesigning them. I'll be interested to see if there's any other new inserts that come out of it. It is, I believe, supposed to be dropping today. There'll be some breaks around, some pre-orders and things will get filled later in the weeks coming in terms of if you've been able to get some pre-orders in terms of product down under here in Australia, but also have a look at your local stores because they'll probably be coming in. At some point. I do know. I'll just give you a few places that were able to that got hoops last year, and that was like your Target, Kmart's, where else I seen Toy World. Who knows? Maybe Toy Mate. Because they get cards as they get Pokemon cards and those sorts of things. So never know. Toy Mate might be able to get some product. I'm just thinking of the bigger retails, and then obviously you've got your smaller retails, and you'll have your little, online hobby stores that sell these sorts of things. I think one to look out could be there's a place called the Feisty Lizard. I'm
Yeah,
giving out a few little places that I've got saved in my bookmarks here. So, here's a few bones for the punters out there that I'm throwing. The Feisty Lizard, they actually had some NFL product on there, so I don't know if they're going to be able to get some NBA product. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But any place that was able to get any sport product, I've sort of jotted them down so that I can have a look when the new releases come. But yeah, it was
definitely.
excited for the new releases of NBA, and excited to be able to get some of the new rookies coming out, and obviously some second year cards that I'll probably be targeting. And I'll be interested to see if Ja Morant and Zion get second year love like how Luca and a bit of Trey Young's second year cards got some love. So not saying that it's sound investment advice, but if you like, for instance, if at the start of when Prism last year dropped, and you were buying, every Luka Doncic base Prism, people were literally selling them for $1, $2. Now you can sell those same cards for 10, $15 a card. That's pretty
Exactly.
good return, and people are buying them. Even base Mosaic, you could have bought your base Luca Mosaic for $1 or $2, and I sold a few the other day. I think I sold some that I had laying around here. I sold them for like $7.50 each. You're buying those cards for $1, $2. It all adds up in the end. So it's all good to talk about the big massive profits that you may have spending 100 on a card and then selling it for 1,000. That's all great, but it's also the small little wins that add up in the end that also can lead you towards your goal, your collecting goal. So always looking
Definitely.
out for opportunity, and guys, please just don't get sucked into all the rookies. Also have a look at some of the nice inserts that are coming out in the hoops release. You've got the high voltage making another return. You've got the net marvels having another return on that,
Which is a nice
which
set.
is a nice set. So I think people will be onto some of this from last year, but you never know. Maybe the same pattern repeats itself where people are just, all
Yeah.
about buying LaMelo, all about buying Anthony Edwards, all about buying James Wiseman and the like, and they ignore some of these vet inserts, which then later in the season, last year,
Become something. Yeah.
they became something. You could have bought net Marvels cards for literally $5-10, and then later on the season, everybody wants them. They're $70-80. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
look for some
as I said,
opportunity.
our great friends Cherry, I am definitely in their break this Avo, and I'll keep you updated with
They do have a few
uh,
more breaks up there of
anything
hoops,
that
but it's all stuffed
anything
in
I get.
February, so it seems as though they've sold out their whole first run of
First
breaks.
in, best
That's
dressed,
exactly
Saucy. I'm
right, mate.
in.
You got to
I'm
be on
in,
the
mate.
money if you want to get into some of these first breaks, first releases, first price points. I mean, our friends down at Cherry, they do drop a very, 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 very good price, probably the best price you'll get in the whole world on their products. The first release, which is lightning quick to sell out, and not many people get it. And then they obviously slowly up the price from there, but you can't blame them because that's probably where the market will end up at.
Yeah.
So
But very nice. We look forward to it. Awesome release. And like I said, I'll keep you posted on that. Another thing in the that we saw before we get into the question, as we said at the top of the segment, but Sauce, I want you to make a few comments. We're not going to badmouth the person because the person is a legend of the hobby. But I don't know if you saw throughout the week, and we spoke about it last week, we spoke about card porn, and they're bringing to attention of fake slabs and educating people with fake slabs, which is awesome. And we gave a massive rap, and rightly so, deservedly so. And then Saucy came out, and we discussed Beckett having to do something. And then Saucy was a bit fired up during the week. He wasn't too happy about a response that Dr. Jim Beckett gave in regards to fake slabs. As you know, this is our forum, and we're an open book here, so we're not trying to step on anyone's feet. It's just we're just trying to help Beckett. I understand that you are a big company, and we're a small fish in a big pond. But Sauce, what didn't you like about the comments that were made?
well, Domma, it's just you know, it's like it's the same thing. Like that's it's even worse now. What they did previously, they just obviously they sent that little tweet out, buy wisely, and that's all you sort of got. And then now when you've actually had an opportunity of someone getting an interview with him, Dr. James Beckett, who owns Beckett Grading Services, um, and they ask him about the fake slabs, and his nonchalant response that he gave, it just infuriate collectors and hobbyists out there even more. With people already pissed off that all these fake slabs are popping up, but yet now you've got Beckett themselves doing anything different, not doing anything different at all to change the outcome or change what could be. So it's going to be interesting going forward. And I just don't think Beckett gives a shit. I literally don't think Beckett gives a shit. That's what I got from that interview. They don't care. They're just like, well, this is our process. Make sure it's got this, this, and this, and then you know, go from there. It's just, I don't know, Domma. I don't know. I think it's pretty poor the response we got from James Beckett. Um, and it's what I've come to expect from Beckett. I have seen people throughout the week. I've seen people literally cracking their stuff out of BGS slabs, um, and you know, saying they're either going to send this to PSA or they're just going to leave it raw. They don't even want it in the Beckett slab.
We said this last week. When your product starts losing its credibility, it is the worst possible thing that can happen to you, like as a business as well. And we said it. We're calling it out because we care, and that's why we said you got to do something. It's not something that Saul said. You can't have a nonchalant response to stuff and just think it's going to just go away. Like you got to do something. And we'll
Yeah.
keep harping on about it. If we have to talk about it for the
Well,
next 6
all
weeks
right.
or
Let's
10
let's just
weeks or
have a look
12
at
weeks,
like
mate, we will
let's have a look
do
on the other
something.
side, Dommer. Although I always, I'm very boisterous at giving PSA a lot of shit. But it's more just about giving the community shit over just paying
Yeah, but
ridiculous
it's that, and
PSA
it's like,
prices.
yeah, and the turnaround
Yes,
times
yes,
and
yes.
stuff.
But
But still,
have a look previously in the history of grading cards. PSA's old label, right, used to be able to be faked really easily, and there was a lot of fakes that were coming up onto the market with the old label. That's why when you buy the old label, you need to be wary, and know what you're looking for to make sure it's not fake as well. So if you're not sure about that point, you need to make sure you educate yourself. That's where you can visit Card Porn, because they've got their little guide over there that you can have a look at. But what did PSA do? They changed their label 2 years ago, and they went to this new label, which is harder to counterfeit. It's got the QR code on it, um, and they did something. Beckett,
Smart business move.
Beckett, on the other hand, more and more fake slabs. You've got literally cards. You've got now Michael Jordan rookie cards going in fake slabs. You've got Luka Doncic freaking optic hollows that, the difference between a freaking 8.5 and a 9 grade and a 9.5 grade in the slab is, just only a measly few thousand,
But
right?
honestly though,
When you're talking about thousands of dollars and potentially tens of thousands of dollars that this could rot off someone, how can you not care as a company? How can you not give a shit that
yeah.
the authenticity of your product is being compromised? And they're only sitting here because there hasn't been fake ones out there that they've been decent enough that probably the average Joe and people who may have not been in the hobby that long will get duped, right? But what happens when they actually figure out how to do the perforated edges on the label? What happens when they actually print new slabs and put the dot in between the patent number? Because they got the patent number, but they don't have the little dot.
Man, you know how easy it is. You can go on. As ridiculous as it sounds, like I completely despise people that create those fake slabs. But you know how easy it is. Like our place where you can go get stationery here in Australia, you can go buy the paper, and it's actually gold labels because I actually use them at work, and you can print on there and then rip them off, and they're perforated. So that's how easy it is to create the perforated labels. I'm just telling you, this is me. Like, but I'll put it in layman's terms for like Beckett. We say 10 slabs get sold. All right. Like, we're going to tag them in this, and I hope they're listening. And honestly, listeners and viewers, like, we're not saying this so we can get a free share or whatever, but honestly, you should share it because this makes perfect sense when you listen to this. But you have 10 slabs, all Beckett slabs, all BGS, they all sell. All right. 6 of them are fake. Out of those 10, all 10 are registered sales, and they all go onto the sale price of that card. We'll say they're all Luka Doncic rookie silver prism. All right, 6 of them are fake. They all go there. Those values are now input into eBay sales. It's on 130 point. It's everywhere, and it's gospel. Now people go, oh shit. Those 6 people that bought those cards go, oh, these are 6 fake slabs. It's inflated the market. For example, they were all-time highs. Those 10 cards were all-time highs for BGS Luka Doncic's, and it's raised the value of that card. But 6 are fake. You're not getting your money back. 6 are fake. Now it's changed the market. It's dictating the price of the market, so it's all on this level playing field. You know what people are going to do? As Saul said, they're going to look at that and go, oh, man, look at that Doncic card. It's gone through the roof. If someone sells a fake slab and they can raise the price of any other card, for example, a LaMelo Ball rookie 9.5 or a BGS 10, why am I going to trust buying any more BGS products when they're inflating prices of fake slabs? They will crack the slab, as Source is saying, and they will send it to PSA. And if they need to wait a year to get their card back, they're not going to give a shit because at least they know their card is legit. Then the credibility of your product becomes everyone. It doesn't matter if you're selling it in a bulk sub or what. Your credibility of your product becomes, oh, but there's heaps of fake slabs, and you'll be lucky to get the rare few that are actually legit BGS slabs. Buyers don't want to go there every time. They do their research anyway, good buyers and stuff, and have to go through their purchase with a fine-tooth comb to make sure it's not a fake.
The whole point about buying graded cards, Domma, is that
It's an authenticity and a certainty that it's not.
Right,
That's why
that's
when they
not
go to
right.
PSA, they get it. They know they don't have to double check it, triple check it. They know it is legit. The legitimacy of your company is jeopardized when fake slabs, their sale prices are becoming registered in recent sales, and it dictates the market. That is when it becomes a problem. So before it becomes a dramatic and major issue of that scale, which it will, because if people are starting to pick up Jordan rookies that are doing this stuff, and they're, like Saul said, they're not cheap cards. Like, you got to start waking up. These people that are creating fake slabs are actually very smart people. They're not going to just go make every one of their slabs a 10. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to, because they'll be able to get picked up and people will realize, oh, look how many Jordan Fleer rookies there are, Jordan rookies. They're all BGS 10s. That's a bit suspicious. They're not dumb. They'll create BGS 7s and 8s and 8.5s and 9s, and there'll be a 6 in there. There'll be a 5 in there. Like, come on, Beckett. You got to know who you're dealing with. People that counterfeit and fake stuff, they're so smart, these people. That's why they do it, because they want a quick buck.
Yeah,
They'll destroy the legitimacy of a company just to make a quick buck. Like, you got to wake up. Seriously.
It's just it just baffles me. But that's why I put that little graphic out of the little cat counting his money. Like,
Yeah,
that's what it is. Beckett's
it
just
is.
sitting there counting their money, happy to just count those notes. And they just look at you and they look back at their money and they just keep counting. They just keep counting.
Yeah.
And that's
As
what's
we
going to
said,
happen.
mate.
That's what's going to happen.
As we said last week, mate, you're a major part of the history and the culture of the hobby. We don't want you to lose your status in the hobby, and we don't want it to be tarnished.
And we,
But at the
I don't,
moment,
and personally, I don't want the grading game to be monopolized by one company. But it's
yeah, no,
actually leading that way, and you're not helping. It's already going that way because people are paying more for PSA slabs because that's what the market tells us. That everyone, if it ain't PSA, don't bring them my way. But the legitimacy of your grading is going downhill by the day. People are cracking stuff out of slabs. You've got, I know a lot of soccer guys, they refuse to now grade stickers with PSA, with Beckett, sorry, because they've found that Beckett have no idea how to pick up trimmed stickers. Where a lot of there's been literally, I've seen a Ronaldo, I've got screenshots of these Ronaldo sticker, rookie sticker, graded a BGS 10 when it's clearly trimmed, and you've got hobbyists saying picking up on these trimmed cards, but you've got the authenticity of the grading companies not being able to pick up the trimmed sticker. So, you've got soccer guys now refusing to grade their stickers with BGS. And now you've got a lot of soccer guys, if it's vintage, they send it SGC. If it's not, they send it PSA. They're not even sending anything to BGS,
there
soccer
you go.
market. So,
You don't want to lose that
and
market because that's the next one.
now you're losing market. All right, you might still have people using you, but when you get to the point where people are just going, well, you not only are your turnaround times just absolutely ridiculous, but now there's fake slabs on the market, so people are now hesitant to buy BGS. So it's people aren't as quick to pull the trigger on your graded BGS cards, so it's harder to flip them. I'm just saying these are all hypotheticals. What could happen to BGS? Where you
We're
all
just
these
saying we
things
hope you're
lead,
thinking
all
about
these
this.
things lead into one, and it's pointing towards a demise in the company. So I just
Yeah,
I
I'm with
still
you. I
have
hope
hope
they
that they're
do.
going to do something, but seeing that interview from Dr. Beckett just also doesn't give me any hope anymore. Just gives me literally it's just dollar signs, dollar signs, dollar signs. And that's all they're seeing, and they're just like, oh, as long as we're making more profit than we did last month, that's all I care about. So
We just had to address that again, ladies and gents. But yeah, we'll see what happens. And like we said, we'll keep reporting it. If shit keeps getting worse, we're going to keep on telling them. We're doing it because we want to help them. It's not because we hate them. But anyway, moving on. Now, an interesting thing. We got sent a post. The post is public out there by one of our good friends of the show, Anthony at Anthony Collects. He sent us something, and he wanted to get our opinion on it, just in a DM. And we discussed while we had a chat back and forth, and we said, "Listen, we'll talk about it on the podcast." As we got it sent to us yesterday or the day before, and the podcast was coming up, and it's very interesting. And we thought, you know what? It's actually not a bad discussion point. Two different sports, two different players, both around the same age. One's accomplished a shitload. One is, well, been labeled to be the prodigy and hopefully will achieve all this stuff. But as Saucy and I have said, with the current climate with superstars, it's very hard to do so in the NBA. But the question that got posed to us was, who is a safer investment long term, Kylian Mbappe or Luka the Don? So it's very interesting. As I said, both the same age. I've done a bit of research on this. I'll give you a few stats. I know Source has got some stuff too, but I'll just give you career stats on these guys. And also, we will factor in that basketball cards are obviously extremely more popular than what soccer cards are. That is a factor. But when you start listening to some of this stuff, and I didn't even go through all of Mbappe's stuff in Ligue 1 because there's so many. It's ridiculous. But Mbappe's 22. He's won four French leagues, Ligue 1s. He's won 2 Coupe de France's. He's won a World Cup. He's won one Ligue 1 Player of the Year. And he's been the Ligue 1 top goal scorer for the 18-19 and the 19-20 season. That's just the short thing. I'll go to Luka the Don. He's 21 years old, so he's a year younger. He's one-time All-Star, and he's the Rookie of the Year, and that's all he's achieved. Now, when you put in comparison like that, if it was up to me, I do like soccer, but I do love NBA. I would be investing in Kylian Mbappe like no tomorrow, more than Luka Doncic, because the kid's already accomplished stuff, and he's only going to add more stuff to his resume. He's not going to be at PSG forever. I still think he's got a bit to go on there. I still think he's going to add a La Liga on there, potentially a Premier League title on there, a Ballon d'Or on there. I tell you what, Ballon d'Or is a lot better than an MVP in my opinion. He's the best player in the world in all leagues. When we talk about basketball, we talk about NBA. There's NBL, EuroLeague basketball. It's not the same context as what a soccer Ballon d'Or is to an MVP. He's a league MVP. A Ballon d'Or is like the world's MVP, so it's completely different. He's the best in the world. But I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts, Source. I know we're answering this
Yeah,
for
so
Anthony.
he's put out there. I mean, when you talk about, obviously you're talking about the player, but he said specifically, the card as well. So obviously we're
Yeah,
talking about the Luka Doncic Prism base rookie card PSA 10, and then you've
yeah,
got on the flip side you've got the 2000 and I think it's
18.
2018
Yeah,
Mbappe Prism World Cup card.
World Cup
Yep,
France card. Yeah,
France card. Now, when you have a look at the two cards in comparison, you've got the PSA 10 Mbappe, who's got a pop report of 2,309. The Luka Doncic has got a pop report of
far
15,375.
out.
So, in
Look at the
terms of the
Don.
rarity of the card, I mean, the Mbappe is a hell of a lot more rarer in those two terms. But also, there's one thing to note. By soccer collectors out there, this is not considered his true rookie card,
No.
Mbappe. It's considered his first World Cup card, which is also stands for something. But he's actually considered rookie is the Panini foot sticker, which I like to bag the shit out of because I think it's the most ridiculous thing that people consider that's his rookie because it has another player on it, and the other player, which no one will even know or talk about, is Quarantine Gene, but I know his name, and I make sure people don't forget his name because he's on the card as well, and on the PSA label, he's also on the label, but no one likes to ever state that in their eBay listing. They only state that it's an Mbappe rookie. It's also a Quarantine Gene rookie, right? So it's a Quarantine Gene / Mbappe rookie. Sticker, which is a horizontal sticker, and that's considered his first official release of card uh, or item. But that's not what we're talking about in this. We're talking about his first World Cup release. The current going price last sold for the Mbappe was 900. The last sold Luka Doncic was 1700. Let's say 1693 was last sold. So you've got you're going to be forking out about another $800 for the Luka Doncic, which has a pop report of over 15,000. The Mbappe only pop report of 2,300 and 900. And that sales sort of jumped up in the last month. I mean, if you were buying them a month ago, you could have bought it for 700, 600. Few sold at 600. I mean, at 600, it's definitely a buy. At 900, maybe not.
I still
I'm
think it is.
I'm not sure, but the question is, which is the safer investment?
So
It's
yeah,
it's a tough one, and that's just because the popularity of Luka Doncic and the pull he has in the hobby. But I've spoke about this before. Would I rather go buy? There was points there where Luka Doncic cards are getting to the same price as you could get some Kobe Bryant rookies. And I was comparing those two, and now we're comparing cross sports Mbappe and Luka Doncic. I mean, you know they're both similar age, but Mbappe's accomplished a lot more and is probably at a much better team already. And potentially in the next few seasons, I see him getting a transfer to Real Madrid. I think that's the team that I reckon is going to come knocking massively and are going to probably break an all-time transfer record, most likely to get him. So I I tend to lean towards, and this is a tough one for me to say, but I tend to lean towards the Mbappe, and that's just because the rarity is much less. It's a cheaper card
but
at this current point in time, and he himself, Mbappe, is the most. He's the most well known sort of in terms of like the next up and coming. Him and Haaland, Erling Haaland, are
Haaland,
probably
yeah,
Haaland.
yeah.
They're the next two guys.
But the other
Um,
interesting thing on the card, just as a card though, I know that's Luca's rookie, and with his true rookie, it's a projection on what you think his career is going to become. Like if he wins, just pretend he's got LeBron stats at the end of his career. Yeah, it'll be worth $25,000, $30,000, and the rest. But if he doesn't get that, it's going to be worth $1,700. So we're projecting a lot for Luka Doncic. He's got a long way to go. But Mbappe, the good thing about this card, that when I did read it, what Anthony put out there, and he put a great description on there as well, a lot of information, is the fact that the thing that I picked up straight away was it's his first World Cup card, and he won the World Cup
yeah,
in the year that it's his first World Cup. And he was arguably, next to Luka Modric, the best player in that tournament.
he was. He
It's his
was.
first card, and it's his first World Cup. Bang. It's his rookie World Cup card, and he won the World Cup in his rookie World Cup.
Yeah.
His first World Cup, sorry.
You'll get people out there saying, "Oh, well, you'd buy the Luka Doncic because basketball's more popular." Yeah, basketball's more popular. It's true, right? But think
Yeah,
about
as a
this.
card, but not globally.
Yes, not globally. Yes, and this is what I'm saying. Think about this. Soccer is sort of up and coming, yeah. And when we spoke to our friends at Cherry, when we did an interview with them, and we spoke to them about how soccer product has changed over the last sort of 12 to 14 months, and how they've been able to move on soccer product. they were saying, they had boxes and boxes of soccer product that no one wanted to buy. We had it sitting there trying to sell boxes for just over recommended retail, like barely anything. We couldn't move it at all. And then comes along the card boom, and everyone's buying all sorts of cards: soccer, basketball, NFL, MLB, everything. Now they can't even keep a soccer product on the shelf. So um, the popularity is there, and in terms of a market here in Australia, the soccer market's only second to the basketball market.
Exactly.
Right? The NFL market is nowhere even close to the soccer market, in my opinion, in Australia. So, I mean, I think you've got the basketball market. Obviously, we have our own AFL market here, which is pretty big in terms of for Australian collectors, if you're an Australian football fan. But then you've got the soccer market, and then probably the NFL market. Now, obviously, in America, it's a bit different. It's basketball, then NFL, and then probably soccer after that, or MLB, then probably soccer. And then, but you got to think Panini really, really, really hasn't pushed the cards into Europe massively yet. They were massive. The stickers were massive, and if you talk about European collectors, and hopefully we can get one onto the show, one that I've spoken to previously, and he's based out of the UK. It's been predominantly more sticker based or sticker oriented. And you go back and have a look at some of the great players. It's all stickers. You got Messi, you got Ronaldo, Pele, Maradona, Zidane. It's a sticker. Thierry Henry. It's a sticker. You go back and have a look. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. His first rookie's a sticker. There was no cards. There was stickers. That was the thing in soccer. Now it's transitioning towards cards. And this catches on, and Panini gets their foot more in the door. You've got the Euros coming up. You've got the World Cup coming up. Why can't the soccer market, if it booms off in Europe, and people want to say that if it booms off in Europe, it's gonna be huge. You
It's
got
gonna be massive.
there's countries out there that have just as much pull and cash to throw around. The UK and Germany and some of those other
Everywhere. Everywhere.
France and it's just you got everywhere that could potentially build. You got the whole of Europe and
And the thing as
worldwide.
well, and the thing is, especially with cards like that, like it's a global sport, and you got to think about their currency conversion to the rest of the world as well. Like those cards could become astronomical in prices, especially those Ronaldo and Messi like flawless cards. Oh my, like they're already expensive.
Yeah.
But just imagine, like
Like think
with
about this.
European
Think
releases
about
and
this. Like
Mbappe and oh my days, it's gonna be
yeah,
beautiful.
and just have a look. Like if they start getting some big sign. Like I mean, they've got David Beckham in the product now.
Oh,
They move on, and all of a sudden they've got now Zinedine Zidane signing, and go get some legends that are still kicking on and coaching and whatever. I mean,
mate,
the
oh,
sky's the limit. Like imagine you can go get a immaculate freaking Zinedine Zidane auto numbered to 15 or something, right? Like people are gonna want those
I'll
cards.
tell you what, just keep your eyes out. In all honesty, in relation to this, in terms of like even an Mbappe and a Luca card, if you really like Mbappe, uh, in terms of safer bet to answer the question, I think Mbappe just across the board in all his card products is a safer bet because he's already achieved 10 times more than probably what Luca will ever achieve in his career. He plays in a sport that's globally well renowned, not a sport where it's like very popular. Well, NBA is the second most popular sport in America, not even the most popular sport. Yeah, it's popular globally, but it has not got the same effect globally as what soccer does. And as source says, the release hasn't really been pumped globally for like Panini sports cards for soccer. It's more like in America. Yeah, we get some stuff here, but now they're starting to filter more product into Europe. And as Saul said, it is a global sport. It is the most well-renowned. You think about some of the biggest superstars on the planet, sporting superstars. They're all soccer players. Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, Haaland, Lewandowski, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. These guys are all soccer players. They're not basketball players. Go to someone in America and say, do you know who Cristiano Ronaldo is or Kylian Mbappe? They'll gladly say, yeah, I know who that is. Go to someone in Europe and say, oh, do you know who Patrick Mahomes is? Or if you say LeBron James, I know who LeBron James is. But if you say, oh, LaMelo Ball, they'll be like, who's that? That's what they'll say. But everyone knows these young kids and up and comers, just there isn't as much product. I reckon the safer bet is Mbappe. If you see his stuff, if there's flawless stuff, immaculate stuff, it'd be pretty expensive, but it won't be at its ceiling, nowhere near it. If you can go get some legends of soccer, as much as like Sauceys show me some great deals that he's got for like Magic Johnson autos and stuff like that. Ridiculous. Dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. That's a legend of NBA basketball. Dirt cheap. If you can do the same thing for soccer legends, man, you're laughing in the long run.
All right, let's
because a soccer legend will eclipse a basketball legend every day of the week. If we're being realistic, let's use our brains now. Let's just not go. But except for probably Jordan, it's fair enough because he's iconic globally. And LeBron's iconic globally. And same with Kobe globally. But guys like Bird and Magic and Karl Malone and Shaquille O'Neal's well-renowned globally, but even like Will Chamberlain, Jerry West, how are those guys going to compare to like a Zinedine Zidane,
Maradona, Pele,
Ronaldo, Messi? Man, they got no chance. They get squashed.
And let's just have a look at this. Like, Cristiano Ronaldo has 254 million Instagram followers.
Yeah.
Right? LeBron James has 77.2. He's got more than double. He's got more than double what LeBron James has. Right?
That's unbelievable.
Just think about it, right? And people trying to say that the soccer market is not going to be anything. And I've heard detractors out there. And I've heard people talking down on the soccer market. Yeah, it got pumped up a bit, probably more than thing. But what hasn't been pumped? We've seen so many things being pumped and they come back down to earth. But what happened after that? Mbappe card went up crazy. Came back down, but it never settled back down to a price where it was before. We could pick up those PSA 10s for like $300 at one point.
Yeah.
350. Now it's like sitting up above 600 consistently.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, and as you said, we understand it's a true rookie card. We understand basketball's more popular. We understand all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. It's all that crap. But the safer bet, in all honesty, and we're two guys that absolutely love basketball. But logically speaking, I know logic doesn't always apply to the hobby, but Mbappe is the safer bet as he's accomplished everything pretty much except for a Ballon d'Or that a player could accomplish, and he's only 22. Like, that's ridiculous. He's already won the World Cup. All he needs is a Ballon d'Or and a Euro, and then he's done. He can literally retire tomorrow. It's ridiculous. And he could potentially win the Euro this year. So, hopefully, Anthony, we answered that question. But the safer bet is, from both Sauce and I, we think Mbappe is definitely the way to go. The pop report is completely out of sync. 15,000 to 2,000. The cards are both nice. I'm not going to say one card looks better than the other. They're both beautiful cards. And I just think it's very underrated. But that Kylian Mbappe card is his first World Cup card, and it's the first World Cup he played in, and he won it. So I think that should hold some value as well in the hobby. That alone should have that card on its own pedestal. So that's what we got for you. So hopefully, Saucy, something different there. A bit of a discussion about a question that was asked. Very nice. We're flying along. Hobby Talk's gone for a while, but we've got one segment left. Coming up next to end the show, the most anticipated segment, Sauceys Smokey. Stay tuned. We're back. The most anticipated segment of the show, Sauceys Smokey. Saucy, what have you got for us, mate?
All right, Domma. I mean, it's. I'm gonna have to start looking at potentially into some NFL and picking up some NFL guys, maybe some guys that have been eliminated and there's not much interest in their cars. I think I'll come back next week. I could have an NFL play on
Very
on the
nice.
cards. But one thing uh, I like to I like to just look for other sets that have nice action shot or have something appealing about the card that could potentially, you know, see some value increase later on, whether that be from people, liking the look of the card or, you know, whatever the case. The I've got two cards for you, and I've mentioned these previously, but I never put it on officially as a Smoky. I just sort of threw it out there. Um, so the card that talk that I'm talking about is there's two cards. Now, first of all, I've bought a lot of these. I bought quite a few in the last week, and that's the it's out of the Chronicles set. It's the Marquee. So, and I'm buying Zion Williamson. Now, the reason why I'm buying all the Zion Williamson marquees, you can pick them up for, about $10 each, which is nothing. Which is absolutely nothing. At the same point, probably the same similar point last year, I was buying Luka Doncic for, 15, anywhere between 15 to 17 each. They're now selling for 65, right? If you're talking about that Zion, Luka, Trey, then the next faces of the NBA, Ja Morant, then the next faces of the NBA. Well, if Zion's marquee can be bought for 10 and Luka's is selling for 65, why can't Zion's marquee be 30? Maybe it's half the price of Luka, right? These are the next faces of the NBA. If you believe that Zion's going to keep balling out this season and keep going the way he's going, well, why can't this $10 card that you buy now, as I said, be 25, 30, 40, maybe? Maybe you grade it. I think a graded PSA 10's going for about 115 or 20, I've seen the last sold. So not too bad. If you can pick up, say you buy a whole lot of them and you grade 3 or 4, get back 2 10s. I mean, if you want to play the long game, I've nearly gone down the stage, Domma, that I'm pretty much going to sell a lot of my prison base cards that I bought
Yeah.
for last season. I was going to grade a shitload of them. I was like, stuff it. You know what? I'd rather just get the returns. Some cards I bought for $2-3 now selling for $20-30. All right,
Yeah.
a graded one's going for 200, but I can't be bothered waiting for the grading companies. I'd rather get the money back and buy other cards. But that's one card, which is the Zion Williamson. It's out of the Chronicle set, the Marquee rookie, and I like the action shot. I like the card in general, but I like the action shot that's in it. Where he's doing like a layup. And then the other card is the Luminance card. Now, if you have a look at the Ja Morant Luminance card, the Ja Morant Luminance card is going for way more, and that's because it's a picture of that failed dunk that he did over Kevin Love. That everyone went crazy over, where he pretty much nearly leaped straight over Kevin Love's head. And even Kevin Love himself said he nearly ended his career on that night with with that dunk. But that card also is going for around about the same price. I think even less. I've seen it going for around about 6-7 USD a card. Now, these are low hanging fruit. Not everyone has 250 USD to go pick up a base prism or 50 to pick up an optic base. But you can go pick up a luminance of a nice action shot where he's flying through the air, ball's behind his head, he's about to slam it down on the rim for $6-7. Now, if that Luminance card, you got Ja Morant's Luminance card is, $40 because he's doing that crazy dunk, why the hell can't Zion's card be 15 or 20? I'm just trying to throw some lower end sets out there, and there's still value in them. I bought Donruss rookies when no one wanted Donruss rookies, and now I've got all these Donruss rookies that are, that are worth. So it's thinking outside the box. Not everyone's got the cash to go out there and splash and buy graded PSA 10s. or PSA 9s of cards, or go out there and drop money on Prism and Select and, the most desirable sets. But there's still low-hanging fruit out there that I still like to go pick up, because for me, at the end of the day, it comes down to aesthetics and the looks of the card. If the card's got a good look to it, a good action shot, then if that player becomes something, well, then those cards are going to be desirable. Now, it always brings it back to, am I going out there and buying marquee rookie variants of Rui Hachimura, or even Cam Reddish, or some of the other lesser guys in the draft, who we could say who's one guy, Keldon Johnson? No, I'm not going out there and buying marquees of those guys. Maybe if I picked up a whole lot of them and for really, really cheap, yeah, I'd buy them. But am I going out and buying those ones specifically of those guys? No, probably not, because you can still go get select cards and optic cards really affordable, which are more desirable sets. But when you've got the Zions and the Jars moving up, I think there's an opportunity to go get some of these other sets. And I've heard a few other guys speaking about it, and I've always been one for the marquee. I bought a whole bunch of Luka Doncic marquees, and that's turned out well for me. So I'm going with that same set because I like the border, I like the foil on it, even though like the base on it has like a hollow foil sort of thing, so it shines when you take a photo, hold it in the sun. It's just appealing. So that's the card. I didn't bring it up on screen because it's not up on Card Ladder. I mean, I could bring it up on 130 point and just give you a quick look just to show you. But yeah, I think that's Sauceys Smokey.
Sauceys Smokey, very nice.
I like the look of the card, and it's something where you can get it for $10, and you're getting Zion. If you think he's going to be the next face of the league, which is what he's touted to be, he started last season like how he left off the other. He started this season not how he left last season, but sort of how he left last season pre-bubble. It can only be up from here. It can literally only be up from here. All right.
Definitely.
I'm definitely not putting on the mini overlay because I don't know, I've got dramas there. But Zion marquee, Zion luminance card. You can even pick up some of the other variants. I mean, let's just have a look here. The marquee Zion numbered variant to 149 sold for only $50 USD, Domma. It's numbered to 149. So this set itself is, I think, is undervalued in my eyes because I like the look of it.
Marquee's a nice card though. That card I'm pretty sure you've got Anthony Davis.
I've got Anthony Davis, and that's the thing. The marquee set has been around for a while. It's not just it has history. It's been around from when Anthony Davis was a rookie, which is 7-8 years ago. And now you've got marquee Zion cards. So the history sticks through. And I always like to buy sets that have had a bit of history in the hobby, like NBA hoops. So, marquee's another one. I mean, I'm even seeing sales here of marquee cards for $7.50, for even ones for $5. You got lots. You've got someone buying a lot here for $50. So you look out there, follow ones on eBay, and maybe you can pick up a deal.
Beautiful, bang. That's it. Another Sauceys Smokey done, and that means another podcast down. As we always say, keep living, loving, and breathing all sports at double coverage. I'm Dom with the Great Man Sauce. All the best, and see you next week. Peace.
Peace out, ladies and gents. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, double curve.